Fire department ambulance vibrated with the steady rumble of the engine as it pulled away from the shoreline. Daniel sat on the bench seat, hands resting on his knees. Across from a male paramedic who flipped through paperwork with a furrowed brow. Beside him sat the white male FBI agent, broad-shouldered, tense, and wearing a look that seemed part concern, part confusion, and part something Daniel couldn't quite name. No one spoke at first. Finally, Daniel broke the silence. "Where am I being taken?" The paramedic looked to the agent as though waiting for him to answer. The agent hesitated, his expression strained, like even he wasn't comfortable with what was happening. "The nearest hospital," he finally said. "For an evaluation." It didn't sound like certainty, more like he was repeating something he himself had just been told. The paramedic began asking standard assessment questions, running through protocols Daniel knew by heart. He had once been a licensed EMT with hours of fieldwork and medical training behind him. The familiarity felt surreal, being on the opposite side of questions he had once asked others. "Any head trauma? Confusion? Hallucinations?" the paramedic asked. Daniel shook his head. "No, and your respiratory rate assessment is off. You skipped it." The paramedic blinked, startled, then gave a small, embarrassed laugh. Even the agent's rigid posture loosened for a moment. The ambulance rolled to a stop at the nearest hospital, its sirens never once turning on. Daniel walked in under his own power. No restraints, no accusations, just a fog of uncertainty hovering around everyone involved. He underwent an evaluation, spoke with clinicians, answered cognitive checks, and submitted to a drug test. Hours passed under fluorescent lights, the staff exchanging looks that said they, too, didn't quite understand why he'd been brought in. Finally, a doctor returned with a clipboard and calm, professional certainty. "There are no clinical findings," she said. "We have no reason to hold you." The words settled over Daniel like fresh air. When the doctor returned with the results, her tone was steady and matter-of-fact. "Your evaluation is normal," she said. "There are no clinical findings, so you're cleared for discharge." Relief washed through Daniel, brief, fragile, barely formed. Then the FBI agent stood up. His chair scraped sharply against the tile, and his face twisted with a frustration Daniel hadn't seen before. Not anger exactly,